Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Ohio.
Another beautiful day here in downtown Cincinnati as the Reds take on this Miami Marlins club for the fourth and final time in this series. And after the long day yesterday in the W, a series win is in the offing if they can get the W today. It's the Reds and the Marlins here on Fox Sports Ohio. And a pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to Reds Baseball. Along with Chris Welsh, Jim Kelch here at Great American Ballpark. Reds look to get the victory today, and one of the ways they could do that, I guess, Chris, is how they did it yesterday, and that is that leadoff man, Sin Chu, get him on base.
Well, how about getting him on base yesterday? 6 times for Sin Chu. I mean, what more can you ask for this guy? He's a guy that he gets base hits, he walks, he works the count, he slices the ball the other way. He's a league leader in being hit by the pitch. I mean, what Chu has done for the Reds so far is, I think, far beyond the imagination of even the most aggressive Reds fan. They are so happy with this guy, quickly becoming one of the most favorite Reds players out here.
Well, you talked about him leading the league in a lot of categories. He is right up near the top in many different categories in the National League so far. Let's take a look. He leads the league in hits. He leads the league, as Chris mentioned, in hit by pitch. He's second only to Joey Votto in on-base percentage. He's right there in runs and total bases as well. He really has been the entire package for the Reds so far this year.
Well, he has, you know, and he's done it by keeping it simple, something that Brooke Jacoby loves to see.
He's a professional hitter. He's got good balance in his swing, and he uses his hands well. You know, he's not a big pull-off guy with his front side, and he stays in the middle of the field. He's been great for us.
I think I want to do something in every at-bat in the Indians, but now we have like such a good lineups, like second to 7, 8. So I think every at-bat, every pitch, just new pitch, new at-bat. So I think the lineup and then clubhouse, this my teammates have made me like a lot of comfortable.
So you've got Chu going, and how about Joey Votto yesterday? Ties a career high with 4 hits.
Well, he got a home run yesterday. A lot of people are happy about that. 4 hits. Joey Votto up until yesterday was really a base on balls machine. But when he needed him to come through, he came through big time. Nice to see number 19 swing the bat the way he did yesterday.
And, of course, he's in there again today as the Reds look to take the final game of this 4-game series, sending Miami out of town and welcoming the Cubs starting in the 3-game set tomorrow. All right, Reds won yesterday, looking to build on that with more success today with the big right-hander Homer Bailey towing the rubber.
Descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Short sleeve shirts are the norm here today. Sun is shining. Another beautiful day here at the ballpark. Today's weather presented by Eric Dieters, attorney at law. And there's our local weather, courtesy of WKRC Channel 12. 54 degrees here at game time. Mostly sunny. 37% humidity. Should be, as it was yesterday, a very comfortable day here at Great American Ballpark. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Reds, it's Homer Bailey. Wow, he's coming off a terrific start his last time.
No, you're
out.
not kidding. I mean, look at Homer Bailey. You watch him pitch, you're thinking this guy brings no hit stuff to the mound about 3 out of every 5 starts. And he had that kind of stuff against the Phillies his last time out. Did not walk a batter. He struck out 10. He gave up only 2 hits. You talk about dominating a pretty good offensive ball club. Homer Bailey did exactly that.
Yeah, those 10 strikeouts tied a career high for Bailey in that game against Philadelphia. There's a look now at the matchup today. Young man Alex Sanabia. We've never seen him before.
No, we haven't. He's a guy that throws somewhat of a pedestrian fastball, about 90 miles an hour, but he's got 2 wins on the year. He's a real gutsy pitcher with an excellent changeup. So left-handers are going to have to be aware of that pitch. Homer Bailey, if he pitches anything like he did his last time out against the Phillies, the Reds will have a good chance to stay right in this ballgame.
Well, the Reds are having a very good homestand. In fact, it's been pretty good so far at home this year. 9 wins and 3 losses through their first 12. They try to keep it going here this afternoon. Ford F-Series trucks, the best-selling truck in America, 36 straight years. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Book your stay at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Good crowd expected again here today on this Sunday afternoon. The Reds trying to make it 3 of 4 against this Marlins group. And here's the lineup now, put out there by Marlins skipper Mike Redmond in his first year at the helm of this Miami-based club. Chris Coughlin, who led off on Thursday in Game 1, back in that spot here today. Donovan Solano moved up to the 2-hole, then Giancarlo Stanton. Joe Mahoney in the cleanup spot, Justin Ruggiano and Rob Brantley. And then the bottom 3, Nick Green, the former Red Chris Valleca playing 3rd and batting 8th, and Alex Sanabia pitches and bats 9th against the tough right-hander Homer Bailey.
115 starts now for Homer Bailey in his major league career. Overall, he's 5 games over 500 in his career. 1-1 this year, good earned run average, and coming off one of the better starts he has ever had in his young major league career.
Third start at home this year. He has not allowed a run here at Great American Ballpark, and that's really something to talk about as Coghlan takes ball one high, because in his career he's always said he'd rather pitch away from Great American Ballpark than here, and yet 2 very good starts at home this year. And of course, who can forget that Game 3 start against the Giants in the playoffs last year here at GABP as well. Coghlan at 156 with an RBI, former National League Rookie of the Year. That was back in his first year with his club, 2009. That's when they were the Florida Marlins. Young man coming up through the minor leagues, was an infielder, primarily a second baseman, but most of his time in the big leagues, ironically enough, has been spent in the outfield. Bailey making start number 5 in his career against the Marlins. A win, a loss, a 2.84 ERA. Last time out, he didn't work against them at all last year. He worked against them in late August 2011. There's a ball ripped into the right field corner by Coghlan. He had a couple of hits in that game on Thursday. He's going to get himself 2 here. A leadoff double to start this afternoon's contest by Chris Coghlan.
Well, he got to a 3-1 count, Coghlan did, and he figured a fastball was coming, and he was ready for it. Homer Bailey elevates it, gets it on the inner third of the plate, and a mistake early on for Homer as he was able to elevate that ball over the head of Joey Votto and down into the right field corner.
Second double for Coghlan this year. In fact, he had one on Thursday. So both of his doubles this season have come right here in this ballpark in this series against the Redlegs.
It'll be interesting to see how Mike Redmond plays this. Are they going to bunt Solano over? Will he play for an early run right here against Homer Bailey, knowing that Bailey's been so good here at home?
Anahan cheats in at third as Solano batting in the 2-hole for the first time in this series. Takes a ball outside.
Of course, Solano wants to hit that ball to the right side, get the runner over to third. Bailey knows that, and he just may want to try to cram him with the fastball. Looks like they're going away, though.
Solano at 233 with a couple of RBIs this year. In the series, 3 for 10. He hit in the 8-hole yesterday, went 1 for 3, had a sacrifice, had an intentional walk in the 12th inning. That was that move you were talking about from Dusty Baker, forcing the hand of Mike Redmond. Towards short. Turris looks to third, throws to first, and Solano is out. Take a look at the Reds defensively. Brought to you by your local Ford dealers behind Homer Bailey. Different look today. Paul is in left, Chu is in center, Bruce is in right. Hanahan makes his second start of the year at third. Turris his second start at short. Phillips at second, Votto at first. And a battery of Bailey and Mesoraco, with Devin now making his 4th start in the last 5 games for the Reds. You heard Jeff Pecora talking in the pregame, the moves that the Reds made prior to the contest today. Ryan Hanigan goes on the disabled list with a strained left oblique. He also has that thumb injury on his right hand. That's what everybody's been worried about. But in the game here Friday, he strained that oblique reaching for a pitch. So Hanigan goes on the DL, and the veteran Corky Miller has his contract selected from AAA Louisville. They played in Louisville yesterday. Were on a bus early this morning headed to Indianapolis. Instead, Corky goes, what, I guess a little more north and east than straight north to Indy from Louisville. Comes up here to Cincinnati in his first stint with the Reds since 2010. Good to see Corky back.
You know, it just goes to show you that perseverance pays off. I mean, there was a chance that this year Corky Miller would not be playing at all, that he would actually be a coach. If he couldn't make the Louisville team, if the Reds didn't see a spot for him in the organization, he was going to give it up and become a coach. And here he is in the major leagues, adding a couple of some service time, some big league retirement time. Hang around long enough as a catcher and you will get a chance to be up here.
He's 37 years old, and boy, did he get the glad hand from everybody when he walked in that clubhouse this morning. To a man, they all enjoy him being around.
I think the fans like it too.
Sure.
Nacho Libre in the big leagues again.
Now we'll have a real challenge for the best mustache on this team. Corky or Sam LeCure.
Oh, Corky.
Stanton chases a 2-2 off the plate from Bailey. He strikes out, and that's the second out of the inning.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Homer Bailey right here. You figured if you could get 2 strikes on Stanton and then flip something on the outer part of the plate or just off, he would chase it. And he's done that a lot so far in this series. He's a strikeout guy, and Homer Bailey gets it where it means something with a man on third.
So here now is Joe Mahoney. Second start of this series for Mahoney. He's 1 for 5. He actually picked up his first hit, first big league RBI yesterday. Came off the bench. He pinch hit in the 5th inning for Wade LeBlanc. His base hit scored Miguel Olivo. He took the ball out of play. Mahoney, 26 years old.
If you're Homer Bailey, you get out of this jam. I mean, not a big jam. You have a runner on third, but less than 2 outs in the 1st inning. What a big boost it gives you from an energy standpoint. I mean, right now he's thinking about, hey, I don't want to give up a run here. I haven't given up a run here in Cincinnati yet.
Right.
Why would I want to give one up here in the 1st inning? Let's preserve the shutout. And now he's just a batter away from doing that. Making a strike away from doing that.
Gets ahead quickly of Mahoney, 0-2. Yeah, 14 straight innings during this season of shutout baseball here at home. ERA overall of 3.32. Coughlin drifting way down that line at third, so much so that distracted the Reds right-hander, who steps off. Now he's ready to go again. Justin Ruggiano waits on deck. Cool here Thursday, cool here Friday, a little bit better yesterday and today, but this Marlins team heads to Minnesota, where there is snow in the forecast over the course of the next 2 days up there. Here's a swing and a miss as Bailey gets Mahoney reaching on a couple of pitches there. He strikes out to end the top of the 1st. Third Sunday of the 2013 season. Dusty Baker's club off to a pretty good start here, Zolm, as we talked about earlier. 9-3, their best start since '94 when they went 10-2. They can go within a half game of that if they can get the victory here today. Here's the lineup put out there by the Reds manager. Shin-Soo Choo leads it off, then Xavier Paul, then Joey Votto. Phillips, Bruce, and Mesoraco up to the 6th spot in the order, followed by Jack Hanahan, Cesar Izturis, and Homer Bailey. Against this right-hander, 24-year-old Alex Sanabia.
He's from Chula Vista in California. That is right outside San Diego, and he's a tough guy. Alex Sanabia is. He's so far statistically, win-loss anyway, the best pitcher that the Marlins have. You see the earned run average. However, if you want to look at the numbers a little bit deeper, look at the number of walks compared to the number of strikeouts for Sanabia. He's got more walks than he does strikeouts. That would indicate to me that the Reds will be a little bit patient at the plate, make this young man throw strikes.
He's been pretty good as far as giving up runs early in games. His ERA over 4, as Chris talks about. So he's been good early, but he's been touched up a little bit after the 4th inning. We'll see how it all goes for him today. Chu leads it off. He has reached base in all 17 games in which he has played this year. Of course, we talked about him being on base 6 times yesterday. A new career high. And he's hit by the pitch. That one hit him in the foot. Chu leads the big leagues in that department as well. Hit for the 8th time this year. And he's on to start the Reds first.
Well, one thing Chu doesn't do is exactly dive out of the ball when he sees something coming inside. He kind of hangs right in there, and I can't say he leaned into that one because you never want to get hit on the knee. But he has been plucked a bunch, as you said, and now the Reds have so used to seeing him on the base paths. 6 times yesterday, already he's on today.
Stole a base in yesterday's game. There's the numbers we were talking about. Chu leads the big league. That says NL, but he also leads the major leagues in being hit by a pitch with 8.
Maybe we can get our stat guy to extrapolate that and figure out what kind of a pace that Chu is on. If he continues to get hit at this pace, how many he'll have at the end of the year, and what the all-time record is by comparison.
It's a good thought.
Joe
right
Luckham
there.
could do that?
Look, he's already on it.
I know he is.
Working feverishly over here to my left. There you go, Chris, right there. The note being passed along. Foul out of play here by Xavier Paul.
All right, so if he continues at this pace, he'll get hit 68 times by the end of the year. What's the National League record? That's a lot of bruises. A lot of ice. Reds may have to order another ice machine.
He was hit 14 times all of last year, and already in this first month, 8 this year. That's pretty crazy. Paul getting the start in left field today. His 4th start of the season. He would blow the old record away.
He would. Hugh Jennings in 1896, that's when they used a softball, was hit 51 times.
How about a modern day record? Modern day record, Ron Hunt.
Yeah, I thought it might be Ron Hunt.
Hit 50 times in 71. Ground ball toward the middle. Solano cuts it off, and the Marlins will get a double play. 4-6-3. Solano, Green, and Mahoney. And Chu is erased on the twin killing. Here's the Marlins defense, brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Coghlan, Ruggiano, and Stanton. Valleca at 3rd, his 2nd start over there. Green and Solano, you just saw them turn that double play along with Mahoney at 1st. Sanabia and Rob Brantley making his 3rd start in 4 days behind the plate. So here's Votto. High fly ball hit well toward right center by Joey. That will be his 2nd of this series, his 3rd of the year. Now the first pitch he sees on this Sunday afternoon. Votto gives the Reds a 1-0 lead. Ball is headed right towards the PNC power stacks in right center.
Well, that was a pitch for pretty much right down the middle, but it was also very good preparation and good execution by Joey Votto. That's a first pitch changeup, and unless you're looking for it, there's chances are that you're not going to be up there hacking it for a home run. And Joey Votto studies a lot of video. He and Brooke Jacoby prepare, and they knew what Sanabia might throw him, and he got what he was looking for.
Joey hit 2 home runs in the month of April last year. He's now surpassed that total this year with number 3. 4 hits for Votto yesterday in the game, equal a career high. .380 feet, the estimated distance of that long ball. Here's Phillips. He sent him home happy yesterday with that sac fly into center field on Brandon Phillips bobblehead day 24 hours ago. Now second in the league in RBIs with 20 behind John Buck's 21. Phillips hit that fly ball in the center in the bottom of the 13th, and Ruggiano caught that ball, and instead of throwing home, threw to first, hoping to double up Joey Votto and end the inning. I talked to Joey about it today. He said he knew about it. He was heading back toward first, and he heard Billy Hatcher hollering, and he scampered back a little bit quicker. Turned out it didn't matter. The throw was A, offline, and B, nobody was over there to take the throw. Winning run scored for the Reds in the bottom of the 13th in Chu. Long 4+ hour game ended with a Reds win. Now Phillips will take ball 4. That's the 10th walk of the year. 17 2/3 innings for Sanabia.
You know, it happens a lot, isn't it? Especially against a young pitcher. A kid gives up a home run. The next batter gets kind of pitched around a little bit, nibbling around the corners as Sanabia tried to do, and you end up with a walk. A lot of young pitchers end up compounding their problems but after a home run because they become a little gun shy.
Here now is Jay Bruce. Jay hit yesterday in 5 at bats. It was a 7th inning double, but he struck out 3 times. His strikeout total this year is just at about 1 every 3 times up. He's tied for the league lead in Ks with 24, and he does lead the league in at bats with 76. Bruce with no home runs. He's driven in 8. Comes into the game with a 6-game hitting streak. You saw the numbers there on the bottom of the screen during the streak. Phillips with the lead at first. Now it's 2-1. Well, you look at the Reds lineup against this guy Sanabia. The only player that has an at bat against him is Cesar Izturis, who's 1 for 2. Paul has a plate appearance and a walk against him. So this is a fresh look at a new pitcher for these Reds hitters. Second time in the series, in fact.
Well, you're going to get that out of a young team like the Marlins. Obviously, they're not in your division. You don't see them very much. But it's not like you're sending somebody out here like has the stuff of Jose Fernandez.
Right.
Now, the phenom, the 20-year-old that the Reds saw the other night, who was throwing the ball 98 miles an hour. That's a whole special arm. But Sanabia is a lot more pedestrian as far as his fastball. Doesn't get it above 90 miles an hour. He throws a lot of changeups. Nearly 30% of the pitches he throws will be changeups. And I'd imagine Jay Bruce is going to get one right here. He just got a fastball inside, and I think that they're trying to shake off to get to it. Nope, fastball.
Now a full count with 2 outs, so Phillips will be on the move from first base. Lefties have had a field day against Sanabia this year, hitting .333. Normally in his big league career, which is only 21 games long, righties have hurt him more, but not this year. There goes Phillips. Swing and a miss by Bruce. He strikes out to retire the side. But the Joey Votto home run has given the Reds the early advantage in this game. His 3rd of the year. 1-0 Cincinnati through 1. Brought to you by Miller Lite. There you see a portion of the crowd here at the ballpark. Up on the third deck. Out in the outfield. They're ready for Reds baseball. How about our AT&T trivia question? Who holds the Reds record for most strikeouts in a playoff game? Josh Hall thinking ahead already to October. Who holds the Reds record for most strikeouts in a playoff game? Today's AT&T trivia question. Top of the second, Justin Ruggiano leads things off for the Marlins. .259 by way of an average with 3 home runs. He's driven in 9. Yesterday a hit in 4 at bats plus a walk. He has 4 hits including 2 home runs in this series. So he has 3 of the 5 that they have hit this year. On the ground to third. Hanahan stays down on it, and out at first is Ruggiano. So the leadoff man gone here in the second. Jack Hanahan making only his second start of the year. He's done a pretty good job off the bench in terms of pinch hitting. He did get in the game yesterday, although he did not start. He appeared in the game as part of a double switch, had 2 at bats. In there today as Todd Frazier gets the day off. First pitch swinging here is Brantley. Phillips to his right made the stop on the ball, and then with the transfer from glove to hand, he couldn't control it. And aboard with 1 out here in the second is Rob Brantley.
That's a base hit against Brandon Phillips, or for Rob Brantley. You know, we're so used to seeing Brandon Phillips make this play. A lot of second basemen don't even get to that ball. And I guarantee you that he will tell you, yep, I practiced that. I should have made it. Hoping that Homer Bailey can give him another shot.
First hit of the series for Brantley. He's aboard with 1 out. Double play opportunity with Nick Green now standing in there. 3 hits in the game on Friday, making his 3rd straight start at shortstop in this series. And we talked about the Reds hitters really haven't seen much of Sanabria. You look at the Marlins lineup, of course, you've got a lot of players who are in the early years of their big league career. Not many have faced Homer Bailey before. Only Stanton and Coghlan have at bats against this guy. Nick Green at .375, 3 out of 8. Started the year at AAA New Orleans. Recently called up with the injury to Adeiny Echevarria, who was their everyday shortstop before an injury. Reds lead 1-0 on the Votto home run, number 3 for him. Homer Bailey this afternoon looking to notch his 20th win in this ballpark in his career. Even the start he made, when you look at the start he made that contest against St. Louis, it kind of fell apart against him late in that game. He was pretty sharp early.
Well, I think it was one of those games where I can't say he was sharp early, but he really battled early, and he didn't give up any runs. And you're right, the Cardinals didn't get to him until after they'd been through the lineup a couple of times. And it really, when it fell apart in a hurry. But he's really learned to battle, Homer Bailey has. He did not have a good breaking ball that day that he could throw for a strike. I think there's a big difference today. Early indications are he's got a good curveball and slider.
This ball hit in the hole by Green and out into left field, so he gets his 4th hit of the series. Back-to-back hits by the Marlins. The infield hit by Brantley. Now this one to left by Green gives them an opportunity. 2 on with 1 out.
Well, they've got 3 hits in the ball game, so the first inning and a third the Marlins have, but they've only had 1 hard hit ball. This is off the end of the bat, a slider on a 3-1 count that he throws for a strike, but Green just happens to find the hole.
All right, well, here's a guy that's a former teammate of Homer Bailey, both in AAA and here with Cincinnati, Chris Valaika. And a guy that has been Mr. Utility for this Marlins team this year. Saw him at first base late in the game yesterday. Makes his second start of the year at third, and he hits the first pitch he sees up the middle for a base hit. The run will score Brantley, and the game is tied 1-1 as Chris Valaika comes up with his 4th RBI of the season.
Now we talk about Corky Miller and what you do if you can just hang around and keep playing hard and just have your perseverance be strong. Well, same thing can be said for Chris Valaika. He was a guy that hit in the low 200s last year for Louisville. There really wasn't much room in this organization for him. He signs down there with the Marlins. Next thing you know, he's in the major leagues, and he drives a run in right here in Cincinnati.
Got to feel good for him to do it against his old organization.
I think it just feels good for him anyway. I mean, you want to establish yourself as a major leaguer, but yeah, I think it's a little bit sweeter against some of the guys that he played with.
So here now is Alex Sanabia. He has a hit this year in 5 at-bats. He's going to try to bunt. He bunts it in the air, and Mesoraco makes the catch.
Mesoraco thinking to himself, man, why didn't I just let that ball drop? Remember that a bunt cannot be an infield fly. So if you let that ball drop right there, you get a double play very easily because all the runners are back to the bag. Of course, it takes a little pre-thought to do that. And sometimes you think of it on the fly and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, Sanabia was really standing right near the home plate area. He hadn't started to run. They could have gone to third, back to first, be in the dugout now. Two out for Chris Coghlan. Started the game with a double to right, was stranded at third. That run, by the way, the Marlins scored, the first given up by Bailey this year here at Great American Ballpark. In his 16th inning of work here.
That pitch right there that you just saw Homer Bailey drop on Chris Coghlan is the difference between him having a great game and him having a game where he's going to have to really battle. He did not have his breaking ball in St. Louis. He did have his breaking ball last time against the Philadelphia Phillies, and looks like he's got good feel of it here today.
Coghlan now in the hole.
The pop-up bunt attempt right here. Watch Devin Mesoraco coming out of the catcher's box. He's going to catch her right away. Watch his reaction afterward, thinking, "Up, shucks. If I'd have let that drop, we'd be in there having Kool-Aid right now."
A lot on the catcher's mind when you're back there.
Yeah. They probably don't have Kool-Aid in there anyhow.
Sounds like you've got a supply at the Welsh estate.
Do they even make that anymore?
Sure they
I mean,
do.
with all the sport drinks out there.
Sure they do.
It used to be about the only thing.
Adrian Johnson taking a hit right there. Home plate umpire. Fielding Culbreth is at first. Bill Welke at second. Brian O'Nora at third. On the breaking ball, Coghlan disposed of by Homer Bailey. Homer gets strikeout number 3. Marlins get a run. We're all even. take home the first ever bobblehead of the flame-throwing left-hander. That's coming up on Saturday, May the 11th. The first 30,000 fans receiving a Aroldis Chapman bobblehead thanks to Cincinnati Bell. For tickets to see the Reds take on the Brewers on that day, Saturday, May 11th, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. May the 11th, mark it down. Chapman bobblehead. High fly ball to left. First pitch seen by Mesoraco here in the bottom of number 2, and Coughlin takes care of that. So Devin is out.
Is it true that that Chapman bobblehead will come with asbestos gloves so that you can handle it without danger?
Now that's a story that I have not heard. But it makes sense.
Check that out for me, will you?
But it makes sense. Asbestos gloves. Here's Hanahan. 0 for 2 yesterday, 0 for 4 in the series.
You know, if nothing else, you got to think that the Reds' third basemen have two of the most unusual walk-up musical selections. Todd Frazier, of course, has Frank Sinatra, probably the only major leaguer out there that will play Frank Sinatra as his walk-up music. Jack Hanahan, an Irish jig. I'll have to find out who actually, what band that is.
He's probably the only person that has an Irish jig as his walk-up. So, yeah, you're right. Very unique. Point of conversation the next time we see Jack tomorrow. Cesar Izturis waits on deck. A little different look to both lineups today. Hanahan getting the start at third in place of Frazier. Izturis replaces Zach Cozart at short. Now, I did have a chance to talk to Zach prior to the game. He showed me his fingers. They really don't look bad at all. He says he's amazed, and Dusty Baker was thoroughly amazed at how well Cozart came out of that yesterday. Hanahan with a pop-up. Valleca will give way to Green, who makes the catch. 2 out. His index finger on his right hand has a little bit of a feeling issue right now, but the middle finger, he says, feels fine. It swelled a little bit after the game. You see that ball started to dive on him at the end. But it's not nearly as black and blue as you might think it is.
Yeah, probably scared him more than anything else. Yeah. Fortunately, no x-rays that came up positive, so there's no break in there. He'll be back in a day or two, I'd imagine. Yeah,
he said, boy, I hope to be back in there tomorrow. Now, those guys are always optimistic. Homestand continues here tomorrow against the Cubs.
The good thing that could come out of that is that he'll always be reminded of the near scare or the near major damage he could have had by breaking his finger next time he slides his hand up on that bat to lay down a bunt. You never want to wrap your hand around the barrel of the bat.
You know, he said he thought he had it protected, and when that ball took a dive there at the last moment, he just couldn't adjust quickly enough. Izturis, the switch hitter, trying to get on here with 2 men out. Third start of the year for the veteran infielder, his second at shortstop. He also made a start earlier this year in the Pittsburgh series at second base when Phillips was away attending the funeral of his grandfather. Former Gold Glover, longtime Toronto player. One of a number of shortstops, a series really of them over the years with Dusty Baker here, a veteran shortstop as a backup with his club, or in some cases the everyday player. Homer Bailey on deck. Blue skies here in Cincinnati on this Sunday. Handled down there by Mahoney. Feeds the pitcher Sanabria. Izturis is gone, and the Reds go in order here in the bottom of the second. brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. We've talked about Homer Bailey in this ballpark, and look at his ERA here over the years. Actually worse last year than it had ever been, but this year, counting today, only one earney in 16 innings.
Well, I think that he really let it get into his head last year. He was 4 games under 500, win 4, lost 8 last year. Here at this ballpark, of course, he was lights out pretty much everywhere on the road. But if you let it get to your head, you're going to dread when you get a pitching assignment here. That's one thing this Reds ball club has done last year, year before, really seemingly the last few years, maybe since Brian Price has gotten here. There's more than just a coincidence, but they've embraced the fact that they can pitch here, and I think it affects the other team more than it affects the Reds.
We go to the third, an even game, 1-1. Leading it off, Donovan Solano. Rounded out to the shortstop his first time. Solano and his younger brother Jonathan made a little bit of history last year when they both made their big league debuts in the month of May. His brother Jonathan with the Washington Nationals against Miami. First brothers to make their debut in the same month, same year since the Guerreros back in 1996. Vladimir, the big power hitter, and Wilton, the former Reds player, albeit very briefly. Three hits, 11 at bats in the series for Solano. He'll try his Turris again. And again, he's thrown out 6-3. That's out number 1. Batter will be Giancarlo Stanton. Knock on wood. The Reds have been able to handle this guy in the series. He struck out his first time. He's 2 for 14 in this series, and you just know that the folks in that Marlins dugout shaking their head about the fact that this guy has not driven in a run yet this year. Now, you know he missed 6 games with that shoulder injury. Still, to not have any RBIs, eye popper. Driven in 80 plus, hit over 30 each of the last 2 years.
Well, he's got an adjustment to make, and that's essentially how to figure out how to cover the outer part of the plate. That's where the Reds have pitched him all series, and they've been pretty successful getting him out down there. Down there, down and away, up and away. He stands quite a ways off the plate stand, does. He just doesn't look like he's got coverage.
So from 2-0 now to 2-2 to Stanton. Here's a good look at it. Almost slightly open, isn't he? Look where Joe Espada, their third base coach, stands when Stanton bats. Think he's not in protection mode down there, third?
That's where Jose Akendo used to stand when Mark McGwire would come to the
Sure,
plate.
yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you know, Stanton is like a lot of ball players. You know, you get hot, you get cold, you see the ball sometimes better than others. But when he's on a roll and he starts hitting line drives, there's nobody in this ball game that can hit the ball harder than Giancarlo Stanton.
Dribbler that will go foul. Well, the Reds will see this club in just under a month down in Miami for a 3-game series down there. Let's hope when he gets hot, it's say the end of May or so. Reds will be finished with this team. They come in with a 4-14 record. That's the worst record in the big leagues right now. Reds with that win yesterday, 9 home wins this year. That's the most in the big leagues. The Rockies are undefeated at home at 8-0. Nobody has more than the Reds with 9 home wins. Hard hit and a base hit for Stanton on a 3-2 pitch.
He even got that one out a little on the end of the bat too, and the ball was seemingly right down the middle, pulling off of it a little bit, but still just enough coverage to hit it sharply and get a base hit back through the box. Look at the grouping of all the different pitches that Homer Bailey threw Stanton, and then finally that 8th pitch of the at bat pretty much down Broadway.
It's what you were talking about, low and outside. So here's Joe Mahoney, strikeout victim his first time.
I was talking to a scout about Homer Bailey and what he wrote in his report about Bailey when he reported back to his major league club. He says, you know, when Bailey pitches now, his delivery is so different that it just looks like he's playing catch.
Deep to left, but Paul will track it, and on the warning track, he hauls it in for the out, and Stanton hustles back to first base. Nice play by Xavier Paul out in left field for Homer Bailey.
That's a real nice play by Xavier Paul. He got a good jump on it. I think Mahoney may have fooled him by how far that ball actually carried. Ball jumping today.
Well, to get back to what you were talking about, Chris, do you agree with that?
I absolutely do agree. There was not a time when he looked like that. It looked like Homer Bailey was always a high effort pitcher, that on every delivery he'd try to grunt and do everything he could to throw the ball as hard as he could. But now it appears that he's pitching at about 90% effort, which is what you always try to get to as a major league pitcher or any pitcher. You never want to feel like you're trying to put everything into each delivery. He keeps his head right behind the baseball. Sometimes he would pull off the ball more. He doesn't do that much anymore. He's sped up his tempo a little bit where he's got more power. I mean, Homer Bailey's like the little sapling that your kid brought home from school, you know, and say, Dad, will you plant this in the backyard? And then you come back 3 decades later and you look at it and you've got a fully grown tree. That's really what Homer Bailey is looking at right now.
He really evolved, that's for sure, over the years. He used to have that all full overhead windup as well. He dropped that a number of years ago. Two and one now to Justin Ruggiano. Homer here on Thursday was a big blow that came against Tony Cingrani. Tied the game at 1. That was on a high pitch. Chris has talked about that this entire series with this big guy. In the 9th inning against Chapman on Friday night, a high fastball. Yesterday he was 1 for 4. Today 0 for 1. Stanton at first, 2 out. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Homer Bailey. Puts an end to the Marlins' 3rd inning. Of the game, who holds the Reds record for most strikeouts in a playoff game? Rack your brain on this one. What'd you come up with? How about that man, Homer Bailey? Last year in Game 3 of the NLDS against the Giants, double-digit strikeouts with 10, breaking the old mark of 9 held by Hod Eller back in the 1919 World Series and Jose Rijo in the 1990 World Series. Speaking of, Bailey leads it off here in the bottom of the third. Bailey has a hit this year, a double. 1 for 4 as a hitter. Reds lone hit of this game, the home run by Joey Votto in the first. Marlins have already picked up 5. Only had 8 the entire 13 innings yesterday. Swinging bunt by Bailey to third, and he's going to beat it out. How about that? I bet you could look back in his career, not see another infield hit. He gets one here to start inning number 3.
Well, a swinging bunt like this is better than a normal bunt because you don't alert the third baseman to come charging until after he realizes that you barely hit the ball. And if you can lay it down there like that at will, you have a whole bunch of infield hits. Homer Bailey gets it going.
Valleca knew better than to make a throw, and Bailey, as he always does, puts on the long sleeve sweatshirt down there at first base. Leadoff man on for the second time in 3 innings. Top of the order now in Chu. Hit by a pitch to get the Reds' first inning started, so he has now been on base in all 18 games in which he has played. Interesting to hear Chu on the pregame talk about how he perceives his role with this club versus what his role was back in the Cleveland Indians organization. The table setter here, he thought he had to be a little bit of everything with that club. Leads the league in hits, tied for the league lead in multi-hit games. Second behind his teammate Joey Votto and on base. Of course, leads the league in being hit by a pitch.
But just think about how good you would feel if you were Walt Jocketty. You make a trade. You trade for a guy, and in the first month that you have him, he's leading the league in just about every important offensive category there is, and he's answered a lot of questions defensively that he's capable of playing decent center field.
And the other thing he's done is create one big question. Should the Reds re-sign him?
Well, that's always going to be a question, especially when a guy plays as well as Chu. I don't know whether it'll come down to an economic decision, but you hope that he'll experience such a fun summer that he'll want to stay here.
That is a foul ball. Foul ball called by the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson.
That's an interesting call right there because it looked like that the first baseman, Joe Mahoney, had fielded that ball with 1 foot in fair territory and 1 foot in foul territory. Watch where Mahoney fields this ball right here as he comes in. He's got 1 fair and 1 foul, but it really doesn't matter where the fielder is when he fields a ground ball. It's where the ball is in comparison to the first base or third base line when he fields it. So if the ball is in foul territory, it's a foul ball. If it's in fair territory, it's a fair ball.
Yeah,
not where it bounced last or anything else.
He could have had both feet in fair ground, reached across in foul ground, foul ball.
Not like saving it in basketball.
That line drive ricochets off the glove of Green and out into shallow left field. And so Chu is on. He'll be credited with a base hit, his 25th hit of the year. Now hit in 8 of his last 9 as well. And here are the Reds.
Well, he's got to be enjoying his time in Cincinnati, wouldn't you think? I mean, after all, every time you turn around, he's on base. Another base hit off the glove of the shortstop. 6 times yesterday. He's 2 for 2 on base today.
Well, it's interesting what you say. We've been talking a lot about his offense, but you made mention of center field. It's really been a non-issue.
Yeah. You know what? He might have the best arm of anybody in the outfield.
That's saying a lot regarding Bruce.
Well, you're not kidding about that. I mean, the guy used to be a pitcher when he was a a youth player. In fact, when he participated in I think the international amateur or the junior games as a representative on the Korean team, he was named the most valuable pitcher in the entire tournament.
Most valuable pitcher, not player, yeah.
And shortly after he was signed by the Seattle Mariners as an international free agent, they turned him into an outfielder. But he still has a good arm.
Paul tries to move these runners along with 2 on and nobody out. Hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning.
Now, Paul hit the ball on the ground last time up, and that's the order of business really for Alex Sanabia right here. Throws a lot of things that sink, and he gets a lot of ground balls. But right now, missing up with that changeup. That's not a good sign. Not with Joey Votto on deck, to be followed by Phillips and Bruce.
Reds 3 hits today. They've done pretty well during this homestand. That's a pop-up. Foul ball. Playable for Brantley, the catcher, drifting with it, and he makes the catch. Paul is retired.
Boy, got a 3-1 pitch right there. Was something able to do with it and popped it right up.
Here's Votto. First pitch he saw from Alex Sanabia, deposited it out into the seats just below the PNC power stacks in right center field. His 3rd home run of the year, 2nd in 2 days. Swings at the first pitch here and fouls it back.
So Votto's been up twice. He's hacked at the first pitch each time. That's kind of unusual for Joey Votto. He's usually a guy that, wants to kind of size up the pitcher a little bit. Get a look at his release point.
That home run by Votto, the 133rd as a Reds first baseman. He is 4th all time over there, behind Ted Kluszewski, Tony Perez, and the big bopper Lee May. Line drive to center. Base hit Votto. Bailey will be held and now sent on as the ball is bobbled by Ruggiano in center field. Joey ends up at second. Chu is over at third. 2-1 Reds here in the bottom of the 3rd. That it should be a hit, but it's going to be a hit, but it's probably not going to be an RBI.
Well, they hit the ball very hard. Sanabia gets the ball up. Let's look how we got there with our monster pitch by pitch. Little fastball running away. Tries to brush him off the plate with a slider. Then here comes an off-speed pitch. Sanabia elevates it above the waist. Sharply struck into center field. That's our 3-pitch Mazda pitch by pitch.
Bailey was held initially at 3rd, and then when Chris Spire saw Ruggiano bobble that ball out in center, he sent Bailey homeward, and the Reds take a 2-1 lead.
Well, for Brandon Phillips, it means a lot more than just having a run in from 3rd base. It means now you've got Votto on second instead of first. They probably would have held Chu at second base on that play, and he had had a double play in order. So Sanabia would still have had a chance to get out of this inning with a ground ball double play. That no longer the case. One little play like the outfielder like that he made, it can really change the entire inning.
3rd error of this series by the Marlins, all from their outfielders. Remember, Giancarlo Stanton made 2 of them on Thursday. The Marlins are right near the bottom of the list in terms of errors. They've committed 15 of them this year. They and the Washington Nationals have been the worst 2 defensive teams in the big leagues for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, but they don't score much either.
This team doesn't. The Nationals score a little more. So they haven't hit very well. They haven't played very good defense.
And that puts the pressure on the pitching staff. We saw a very good bullpen that the Marlins ran out there yesterday against the Reds. Really, the whole series, their bullpen has been good, but you wonder if they're going to get worn down by the end of the year.
Phillips taking it 3-0, a strike.
3-0 slider.
Bruce on deck. Chance for a big inning here for the Reds. Second and third, one out, a run in, and a 2-1 advantage. That one loads the bases as Phillips walks for the second time. Loaded with one out for Jay Bruce. We talked yesterday about how well the Reds had been doing with the bases loaded. They actually went hitless in the game yesterday in that department. Bruce 3 for 5 with the bases loaded this year. Here he is with a great RBI opportunity. Struck out his first time against this right-hander. And he's quickly in the hole here. 2 strikes.
And he kind of set himself up for that second pitch by swinging wildly and big at the first one. Thinking he was going to get the fastball. He did pull off it a little bit. Then the next pitch, a good one by Sanabia. Nice little slider down and in. Now you're in the protection mode for Jay Bruce.
On 3 pitches,
wow.
Jay is disposed of on strikes for the second time this afternoon.
Well, he struck out the first time on a fastball. That time Sanabia used a pretty good changeup to get Bruce way out in front.
So now this inning rests on the shoulders of Devin Mesoraco. Devin on the year, 4 runs batted in, 2 of them during this homestand, and he'll cue it back to the mound. Sanabia runs it most of the way over to first. The out recorded. Sanabia and the Marlins get out of that in pretty good shape. Reds do get a run, take the lead back. Hal McCoy breaks down the stats to explain just how good the Reds starting pitching has been so far this year. You can also chat with Hal during every Reds home game by using the Game Connect feature and get a preview of tonight's Blue Jackets must-win game if they want to make the NHL playoffs. You can get complete coverage of today's Ohio sports on foxsportsohio.com, which is brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive safe, spend less. Numbers of this game as we head to the fourth inning. 2-4-0 Reds, 1-5-1 Marlins. Each team is stranded 4. In case you're wondering, that run in the bottom of the third by the Reds is an earned run despite the error. Remember, when you're scoring, recreate the inning without the error. And in this case, the bases would have been loaded without the error. The walk to Phillips would have forced in the run, thus an earned run. Brantley leads things off. Credited with a hit that first time up, even though Brandon Phillips will tell you that he, and we set it up here, Chris made the point that Phillips makes that play 9 times out of 10. But against Brantley his first time, lost it in the transfer.
Well, you just hope that that last inning the Reds had when they're knocking on the door, really ready to blow, I can't say the game open, but the inning open certainly, by maybe a key base hit right there, maybe one by Bruce, something by Xavier Paul. Because this Marlins team doesn't seem to have the firepower to be able to come back once they're down. But if you keep them in the game and they start believing in themselves like they did yesterday and the day before, then it's a ball club that, you know, just may sneak a win in on you. And this is a game that when you look at the schedule thinking, well, this homestand here, you got a 10-game homestand against a Philly team that's down. The Reds took care of them. You know, you got a chance to take 3 out of 4 here from the Marlins. Certain that you were counting on. I'm sure Dusty Baker would never tell you. When he's looking at the schedule, he's thinking, man, we got to have 3 or 4 of this Marlins.
Sure.
And hope that inning doesn't come back to bite the Reds.
Full count to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 4th, Rob Brantley. So we're talking earlier about this Marlins team. They're going north from here to Minneapolis to take on the Twins in a 2-game series, a night game and then a day game. Yes, they are expecting inclement weather up there.
Snow on the way. Well, one of the keys for Homer Bailey his last time out was the fact that he was so efficient with his pitches. What do you throw, 98 pitches and struck out 10, which is almost unheard of. But now you're closing in on 60 pitches. Here he is only in the 4th inning. The Marlins aren't quite as aggressive as the Phillies were. The Phillies made a lot of first pitch outs, especially on first outs of the inning against Bailey in his last start. Marlins, although he's swinging right here, Green is, they haven't done that.
Bailey 8 innings in that game, had 6 1-2-3 innings. That game against Philly his last time out. Here he is already at 58. Green a base hit his last time. Bailey been particularly tough on right-handed hitters this year. And he gets Green on that same pitch, it looked like.
Well, it is a breaking ball. He's got a good one today. Look at the spin on that curveball. Right over the top it goes. Good look with our Exmo camera, brought to you by Performance Honda.
1 on, 1 out for the former Red, Chris Valleca.
He got a first pitch fastball that he drove right back through the box for an RBI. Valleca did, the only run batted into the game for the Marlins. Wonder if he'll get a first pitch fastball here. He did.
Maybe located a little bit better.
Well,
right?
maybe he just outguessed himself. Thinking there's no way he's going to give me another fastball, is there? Oops.
Lead at first by Brantley, held by Votto. Ball and a strike now to Valleca. Valleca's big league total game-wise coming into this year had been only 33 games, all with the Reds back in 2010 and again in 2011. Playing in his 10th game with his Marlins team this year. He made their club out of spring training. Now, after getting ahead on the first pitch, Bailey goes to 3-1. Pitcher spot next, Sanabria. Ball 4. 2 walks in the inning. Now Brian Price goes to the mound to talk things over. Reminder to get yourself ready for Reds action 30 minutes before every game. That's Reds Live pregame on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live has everything you need to know for the upcoming game. It's all right here in your exclusive home of Reds baseball, Fox Sports. That's Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Here comes Adrian Johnson out now.
Well, he wants to kind of hurry the meeting up, get the game going along, but Brian Price wants to make sure that his message is heard and understood by Homer Bailey. And I think that you're looking at the guy right here in Brian Price who has made the biggest difference in Homer Bailey other than Homer himself. I mean, Homer's had to become coachable. He's had to understand what it takes to be in the big leagues and stay here and be able to tap some of his potential. But Brian Price has figured out a way to kind of become his big brother and really get to him.
Sanabria tried to bunt his first time and popped it in the air.
And the job of a pitching coach right there is to go out there and not tell the guy, you know, after walking 2 of the last 3 batters, come on, throw strikes, get aggressive, something like that. Give him something positive to hang on to. Hey, you know, let's stay close with your shoulder, or keep your head in there, or keep your fingers on top of the ball. Whatever it is that they may be working on down the bullpen, you bring it back up and you use it as kind of a psychological anchor, so that Bailey can think of something positive on the mound rather than thinking, uh-oh, I better not walk another batter. And Price is excellent at that.
So lead with the positive. That's the lesson there.
He's bunting again. Look where he's standing in the batter's box, way in the front.
Gets the bunt down. There's a Rocco to third. They get the out there, but not at first. Phillips did a good stretch down there on the receiving end at first. Mesoraco fired to Hanahan. The force out at third base. That happened against the Reds in yesterday's game. It happened for them here today.
Now, this is a play that they work on fundamentally in spring training all the time. And if you can be aggressive and you can get that bunt where it's not a real good bunt, the third baseman doesn't have to field it, somebody else does, and you've got a forced play at third, you might as well try to get that lead runner. Nice play by Devin Mesoraco to help get his pitcher out of a little bit of a jam here.
2 on now and 2 out. Coughlin has a double and a strikeout on his ledger in this game.
You know, the other thing that is a factor in that force play is that you have the catcher running, and it seems like that happens a lot. If the catcher bats 6th and you get it out and then another guy gets on, and then you've got first and third in a bunt situation for the pitcher, you know, you've got one of the slowest runners on the ball club trying to make a base on one of the toughest plays to run on.
Now they have the pitcher running. He's at first. That's Valleca out at second base. Bailey will throw his 70th pitch. His next delivery to Chris Coghlan. Ball 3. So he falls behind 3-0. Strike at the knees, 3-1. Marlins yesterday 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They have 4 hits, 25 at bats in this series in that department. Here is ball 4. Well, how about 3 walks in this inning by Homer Bailey, and they'll have a bases loaded situation against him. Dusty Baker, Brian Price look on in the Reds dugout.
Well, they're doing more than looking, they're talking, and I think Brian Price is, all right, who do you want to get up, because we've got to get somebody up. And that phone is ringing down there, and Porky Lopez right there to answer the call and get some action down there in the Reds bullpen.
Bailey due up third in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Solano with them loaded and 2 out. J.J. Hoover up and throwing in the Reds bullpen. Solano this year 308. There's Hoover. 308 average with runners in scoring position. Now after walking Coghlan, Bailey jumps ahead here, 0-2.
Well, you can see the difference in velocity today with Homer Bailey than it was when he was pitching against the Philadelphia Phillies. He was throwing 96 miles an hour in the 8th inning. I don't think he's hit 93 or 4 today. I mean, his fastball's sitting around 90, 91. So some days you have a real good fastball where it feels effortless. Other days you rear back, you look for something extra, and it's not there, but he had that one just enough.
He gets his 6th strikeout. It comes at a big chime here in the 4th inning. Bases loaded. The strikeout of Solano keeps the Reds in front in the middle of the 4th. Season. MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years, so make sure you catch every Reds Out of Market game live, online, or on your favorite mobile devices. That's in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit Reds.com to order. Get all the details. It's MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Some of the folks enjoying the sunshine and the Reds baseball here at Great American Ballpark as we enter the bottom of the fourth. Reds up by a run, 2-1.
There's that Irish jig music. Kiss Me, I'm Irish. You know who that is? That's by Gaelic Storm.
No, I did not know that.
Celtic group. Came off the album of Raised on Black and Tans. You probably have that somewhere.
If I do, I don't know about it.
You can relate.
Good research, though, by you. First pitch swinging, Hanahan into center. Ruggiano will handle it. One pitch, one out in the bottom of the fourth. You went from thinking that might have been an Irish jig to getting all the gory details.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Gaelic Storm will be around. In fact, they'll be in Columbus later on this year. They'll be in Dayton later on this year, and some of the Celtic and Gaelic festivals that they have.
That's a little lanyap there. That's a little something extra. You're throwing it all out there.
We'll check our calendars and see if we can check them out.
You let me know, would you?
Bring you home in black and tan?
Let Jack Hanahan know. He'll try to work it out in an off day. Is Turris tapped out his first time? Gets ahead here 2-0. Starting in place of Zach Kozar today. Injured those first two fingers on his right hand yesterday. We showed you that earlier. Looks like he's going to be all right. A strike at 3-0. Homer Bailey is in the Reds on deck circle. Reds had gotten J.J. Hoover up in the top of the fourth. There's ball four.
Well, that'll give Homer Bailey a chance to stay in the ball game and maybe help himself offensively. You know, the last thing Dusty wants to do is go to the bullpen early on after you just had a 13-inning game.
Remember, the Reds are in the midst of a stretch of 20 straight days with games that began in Pittsburgh. This is the halfway point of that. This is the 10th game of that. 3 in Pittsburgh, 3 against Philadelphia. Now this is the 4th one against the Nationals. And they'll start the back half of that 20 straight with 10 more beginning tomorrow against the Cubs.
Homer, like his counterpart Alex Sanabia, when Sanabia was asked to bunt, he got way up into the batter's box, and I'm glad to see these pitchers doing that. It's one of the most easily fundamental things that you can do. You move way up in the box so that you give yourself more fair territory with which to work.
Good bunt by Bailey. Sanabia will throw him out. That's the 3rd sacrifice of the year already for Bailey. From Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking to salute our nation's veterans and military service members. 30 veterans and military service members, one to represent each major league team, will be recognized at the 2013 Major League All-Star Game in New York City. So if you'd like to nominate someone, go to tributeforheroes.com. RBI chance here for Shin-Soo Choo. Runner at second base, 2 out, 2-1 Reds. Hit again. Wow. 2nd time in this game, 9th time this year. That'll set the projections even crazier. Twice in this game, Choo's been hit by a pitch. That one right in the back, it looked like.
Right in the backside.
There you go, on the hit. So how about Choo? On base 6 times yesterday in 7 trips to the plate, on all 3 times so far today. 9 times now Chu has been hit in this first month of the season. It ties a Reds record for being hit by a pitch in 1 month. Mike Donlin in May of 1903 also was hit 9 times. It's a Joel Luckup special right there. Thank you, Joel. Two on, 2 out. Paul trying to come through, and he gets this ball in the air. Left field. Green, the shortstop, calling. Gives way to the left fielder Coughlin. Now he trips over the shortstop who was in front of him, but he held on to the ball. And that ends the inning here in the bottom of the 4th. The Reds leave a pair and are stranded 6.
The Reds pitching staff has controlled and struck out Giancarlo Stanton, the Marlins right fielder, just about every time they needed to. They get a strikeout out of Stanton. He's been struck out 5 times, and if you see the consistency there, the Reds are just pitching low and away, punch out after punch out, or since it's head and shoulders, whiff after whiff.
Speaking of, here's Stanton to lead things off in the top of the 5th. Run on 5 hits for the Marlins. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Reds. Stanton, the base hit his last time. He's 1 for 2. As Chris mentioned, 5 times fanned in this series or whiffed. Mahoney and Ruggiano to follow. Works him inside there. A ball, a strike.
Hey, Jim Kelch, did you happen to see today the parade of all the high school baseball teams that came around the ballpark, the Reds Futures High School Showcase participants?
Actually, I did.
It was amazing, really. 66 teams participated in that. They started back in March the 15th. They've had some rainouts, so some of those games have yet to be played, but it was nice to see the Reds' participation. 2nd time they've done that, 2nd annual. And 66 different high school teams participating. The Reds Futures High School Showcase.
Looks like most of them stuck around for the game.
And they did, yeah. They're all wearing their uniform tops. Ronnie Oster, 1974 graduate of Withrow, of course, member of the 1990 Wire to Wire team, teammate of mine back in the 80s. He threw out the first pitch today.
How'd he do? All right?
Yeah, well, obviously he would. There's guys from Covcath. I could recognize them. The Colonels are here. The Ryle Raiders will be here. In fact, they'll be up here in the booth, hopefully in an inning or 2.
They're getting a little special treatment. Here's some of that parade you're talking about. Here's your Ryle Raiders right there.
There they are. How about that? They must know somebody.
Beautiful breaking ball there by Bailey. Seven of them now by Bailey.
Well, he is just living at the bottom of that strike zone. Look at those, that pitch count. The little dots are sequences of where they are. And if you want to miss, you've got to miss downstairs. Bailey, even despite the fact that he's had some control problems, he's only given up one run.
He's walked 3. He's fanned 7. He deals now with Joe Mahoney. Mahoney hit the ball very well his last time. A good running catch out in left field by Xavier Paul. Struck out back in the first. Homer's yet to have a 1-2-3 inning today.
Mahoney is getting a shot because their everyday first baseman at the beginning of the year is Casey Kochman. Kochman's on the disabled list. Greg Dobbs has played a lot of first base, but he's primarily a role player, pinch hitter. And this young man who's 26 years old has spent a lot of time down in the minor leagues, mainly with the Baltimore Orioles, and he's got a lot of power, at least minor league power, but he's getting a chance now to play at the big league level.
They're certainly hoping to get Kochman back, who has a hamstring strain. They're also looking forward ultimately to getting Logan Morrison back. Another guy they were looking at first base. Got jammed on that ball, sends it towards center. Chu closing. Chu gets there. 2 out. So here's Homer now with his first opportunity for a 1-2-3 inning this afternoon. He's sitting at 86 pitches. He's retired the first 2 here in the 5th. Ruggiano, a ground out and a strikeout. Bailey gets ahead.
Boy, just living down around the knees. You know, it hasn't been an easy day for Bailey when he walks the number of batters he has. He walked 3 last inning. He's given up 5 hits. But still, this is the kind of day now that you expect out of Homer, where a few years ago, when he didn't have his good stuff, he'd probably be out of the game by now. So he's learned how to be resilient, learned how to win, at least stay in the ball game on those days when it's more of a struggle.
Yeah, much more difficult, isn't it, to know you don't have your good stuff and not just give in and say, well, today's not my day. I'll attack it the next time. In the big leagues, well, you've got to try to fight through that. That's what Bailey has really learned. Strike 3 called. Nicely done by Homer Bailey. A couple of strikeouts here in the 5th, both looking. Now 8 of them in the game. His first perfect frame of the afternoon. Joey Votto's certainly been hot. This game, a home run and a base hit. 4 hits yesterday. Good to see him get things going again as he leads off in the bottom of number 5 of a 1-run 2-1 game. Started the day at 305. Raised that average now to 328.
Now the Reds have had Alex Sanabia on the ropes a couple of times, ready with the knockout blow, unable to do it in the 3rd, unable to do it last inning. Votto's had 2 good swings, 1 home run and a line drive up the middle.
Heart of the Reds order here against the right-hander. Votto, Phillips, Bruce. Anybody gets on Mesoraco.
I wonder how many people out there in Reds country really were beginning to get worried about Joey Votto. I mean, batting averages in the mid-200s. He wasn't driving the ball. He was walking, it seems like, every other time up.
There are people in this booth that were worried.
But don't include me in that.
One Joel Luckup.
Oh, quick to throw Joel under the bus. You know what, though, at the end of the year, though, when you've established a Major League Baseball car like Joey Votto, these guys pretty much reach their level eventually.
To the mound. And Sanabia, as he likes to do, runs it halfway to the bag for out number 1. Just kidding about Joel. He was not worried at all.
That would be Jim Couch, right?
Not me. I'm not worried. What do I have to be worried about? Here's Phillips now. Walked twice in this game.
Well, we talked about the Reds Futures High School Showcase.
Right.
Of course, we have some visitors in the booth from time to time, and this time we brought in Pat Rosal and his Royal Raiders. Want to congratulate Pat Rosal. Pat, right here, congratulations on your 400th high school win, 21st season at Royal High School. That's a big milestone for Pat.
That is. Congratulations. That's big time right there.
Got a good group of guys behind him here, and
having a pretty good year this year, I understand.
16 wins, only 2 losses, and they've got a full slate of games coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Well, let's hope it goes well, Coach. Again, congratulations.
I'll tell you, you got to really hand it all to every high school coach out there, because the weather spring that we've had in Cincinnati this year, you know, between rain and snow and cold weather, wind, hard to keep the fields ready. It's been a tough spring for these guys. Of course, you were down there in Arizona where it's 80 degrees every day, nice and sunny, didn't have to worry about anything, while these guys are back here trying to get their fields into playing condition.
I'll tell you what, I was where they were years and years ago. I used to get out there and rake that field and have to be part of the grounds crew as well as being on the team. I remember what it was like.
Yeah. You know what, you appreciate a little bit more when you have to do that work.
I agree with you.
So let's hope, though, that they have good weather from here on out, and wish the Royal Raiders and every other one of those 66 teams that participated in the Reds Futures High School Showcase lots of luck between here and the end of the year, and I really hope the Reds are able to continue that tradition.
A lot of them sitting down the left field line right there in section 110, enjoying the game, enjoying the sunshine on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
There they are. These are some of my favorite games here. You get the high school showcase game with all the guys wear their jerseys, and the 4 kid glove games where those little leaguers, knot holders, softballers, high school teams, they come back out. Hopefully they'll wear their jerseys too. It's just really great to see a lot of youth baseball being played in the Cincinnati area.
You got to build the sport, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
From the ground up, that's for certain.
Reds have made that commitment to the kid glove games for years and years. They continue that tradition.
Reds Community Fund so highly involved in youth baseball. Bruce, a soft line drive that's caught by Solano. So the Reds go in order for the 2nd time in this game. We're through 5. Reds by a run.
Forget, after each and every Reds game, tune in for Reds Live, brought to you by Kings Honda, Kings Auto Mall. You can go to KingsHondaUSA.com. We'll bring you all the highlights of the game, take you inside here from Dusty and the players, and much, much more. Well, of course, we always look snazzy here, coat and ties for all of our broadcasts, but there are several Marlins players who took it to another level. Now, these guys have been doing this for the last 3 years. Alex Anibia, today's starting pitcher, Ricky Nolasco, A.J. Ramos, and Giancarlo Stanton. 3 years ago, they went to the House of Adam. It's on 6th and Vine, and they decided they liked what they saw. So every year, on Sunday, they go to House of Adam, and then they walk down to the ballpark.
Speaking of walking, there goes into second base with a leadoff double. Rob Brantley glides into second with a leadoff 2-base hit. So he's been on 3 times in this game. You know, Pick, I'd love to see you wearing one of those outfits. I think you could pull it off.
Yeah, Pick would look perfect in one of those. I like the purple one for you, Pick.
Well, I would look good in that, I think. But, Chris, I don't think anyone can top any of those jackets and suits and bow tie combinations that you have in your closet as well.
Well, I'm trying to be colorful on a spring day.
And you are.
They're like Easter eggs, jackets in his closet.
Camouflage for the flower garden.
And it's working.
Well, Rob Brantley's been so quiet this entire series. All of a sudden, he comes off today. He gets on 3 times. He's got a base hit, a double, a walk. The catcher of the future for the Marlins.
He's the tying run out at second base. Nick Green, who has a hit and a strikeout, is up. Reds cheat in on the corners. Green wanting to bunt, and in protection mode, he does just that. Over to third goes Brantley, and Green is out at first, 1-3. That's a sacrifice bunt for Nick Green.
You know, if you're going to sacrifice bunt, why don't you just go ahead and get squared or swivel around early on, and that way if a ball comes up and in, you can get out of the way without bunting the ball. You know, he was fortunate that ball didn't get popped up right in the middle, you know, in the infield and make it out. Pop up without advancing the runner.
He's also fortunate he didn't get Zach Cozarted right there like Zach did yesterday. So they bunt the tying run to third. Now it's Valaika, then the pitcher spot. 2-1 game Reds here in the 6th. Valaika an RBI single in the second. His 3rd RBI of the year. Infield in for the Reds. Valaika offering at the first one, doesn't get it.
You know, the Marlins are kind of like that basketball team that you play, that if they can control the pace of the game and keep it slow and play like a 4-corner offense where they just slow down the scoring in the entire game, they can hang with you, and they've got a good enough bullpen to maybe sneak some wins. They're not going to have a slugfest with you and expect to win these kind of games, but they've been able to do that so far. Sanabia's danced around some problems out there.
How about Valaika?
Got just enough offense, especially from Chris Valaika, to hang right in here.
He has driven in both of their runs today against his old teammate Bailey. He's 2 for 2 with a walk, couple of RBIs, and they have the Marlins pulled even here in the 6th. So Nick Green and Chris Valaika, the 2 players filling in for Echevarria, certainly hit much better than he has. He was under 200. There's a bad throw to first, and the Reds get an out. That's a big time break for Mesoraco and the Reds right there. Well,
there's 2 reasons why it's a break. Number one, you're able to get the out, but the other is I think that Sanabia was kind of dogging a little bit down the line. And I said this about Jose Fernandez the other day. I mean, he's running okay, but he's not running all that hard. He's kind of jogging right there. If he's running hard down the line, that's one of those rare instances where the defense messes up and that he would have been at first base. And that's the one thing you can control in baseball is your effort. Not really sure why Mesoraco made the throw like that.
But as you say, had Sanabia been hustling, it would have cost him. 2 sacrifice bunts in this inning. Now it's Coughlin trying to drive ahead the Marlins in this game with a base hit. He's 1 for 2 with a walk.
It could be this. I'm just getting old and cranky, but that gets to me.
He gets to Dusty Baker as well.
I'm not talking about Mesoraco. I'm talking about the lack of a guy running down the first base.
No, I get what you're saying. On the ground to Phillips. Inning over. But the Marlins tie it. Second hit, second RBI of the game for Chris Valleca, and we are 2-2 in the middle of the 6th. See your Toyota dealer or visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by JTM Food Group, let's create great dishes together. Bottom half of the 6th inning on this Sunday afternoon from Great American Ballpark. Both starters still in the game. On the Red side, Homer Bailey has allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Alex Sanabia works here to Devin Mesoraco. He's allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. In his second 1-2-3 inning of this game in the 5th. Mesoraco is flied out, tapped out, 0 for 2. Hanahan to follow, then is Turris. There's a ball in the air, shallow left. Green goes out. Green handles it. Mesoraco's 0 for 3, and that's out number 1. Reds fans, if a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during today's game, Dave Heilman from Cincinnati will win this beautiful new Tundra on display at Great American Ballpark. You can register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by simply visiting your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Votto's home run headed out that way back in the 1st. Not quite enough juice to it, but he gave it a pretty good jolt. Jack Hanahan 0 for 2. Both of his balls have been in the air, pop up, fly out. Now he's down 2 strikes. Reds have action in their bullpen. Logan Ondrusek is up and throwing. Bailey due up 4th in this inning. He's thrown 99 pitches through 6. Check swing and appeal. And that's denied. Homer in his 3 starts this year. 98, 87, 89, and now today 99. I don't know for sure that he's out of the game, but gotten himself and the team through 6. Two and two now to Hanahan. Is Turris on deck? Cubbies will be here tomorrow in the start of a 3-game series. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon. Former Red Travis Wood will go tomorrow. Carlos Villanueva Tuesday. And their opening day starter, Jeff Samardzija, Wednesday afternoon. Reds will offer up Mike Leake, Tony Cingrani, Matt Latos. Cubs playing today at Milwaukee, leading 2-0 in the 3rd. They are 5-11. And the next road trip will send the Reds to Chicago.
Yeah, the next road trip kind of interesting because the Reds will go to Washington and play the Nationals. I think 4-game set there, if I'm mistaken. And then, of course, you've got St. Louis and then Chicago. And so you got 2 very good ball clubs that, of course, once the Reds will see the Washington Nationals in D.C., that'll be the end of that back and forth with them. If you see them again, it'll be postseason.
You're going to go to St. Louis for the 2nd time. Prior to them, the Cardinals coming in here. They'll also on that road trip then see the end of that 20 consecutive games in 20 days. That will, number 20 will be the final game of that series at St. Louis, and an off day in Chicago. And then the 3-game get together there. Big at bat for Hanahan here. This is the 9th pitch of the AB by Sanabia. Mahoney handles that hard ground ball. 2 out. Make a big league memory and sign up today for the Reds Community Fund's Family Catch Day coming up on Sunday, July the 7th. Don't miss this unique opportunity to play catch on the field after the Reds and the Mariners game. Plus to receive 2 authentic batting practice used baseballs and 2 commemorative certificates. Visit Reds.com/catch to sign up. Proceeds benefit the Reds Community Fund. 2 men out for his Turris. Todd Frazier waits on deck. Frazier doing his best Mike Leake / Jack Hanahan impression with those pant legs hiked up near the knee today. Sanabia now working on 6 in a row. Hasn't given up a hit since the single by Votto to center in the 3rd. He's fallen behind here 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. 4th free pass given up by Sanabia, and Frazier will bat to end the day for one Homer Bailey. Frazier given the day off today as a starter. Comes off the bench to pinch hit here in the 6th inning. Todd on the year at 286. 5 home runs, tops on the team. 14 runs batted in, second best. Pinch hitting for the first time this year.
Just think how far Todd Frazier has come in 1 year. Instead of being the guy that fills in on a Sunday day game, he's the guy that now gets a day off.
And then comes off the bench to pinch hit. Yesterday, Frazier 0 for 4 in the series, 3 out of 9. Reds trying to create a little 2-out magic here in the bottom of the 6th. Todd quickly in the hole, 2 strikes.
Frazier's got the juice to do it, no doubt. Pitch number 95 coming up now for Alex Sanabia.
Good location on that one. Chu next. Boy, he comes right after Frazier, gets him on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 3 for Sanabia. The Reds leave their 7th of this game. Honda dealer. Here is the Honda game summary for this Sunday afternoon. Votto, first pitch he saw on the bottom of the 1st. Unloads that ball into right center. His 3rd home run of the year. 2nd in 2 days. 1-0 Reds. Miami tied things in the top of the 2nd. 3rd straight hit by the Marlins. That one by Chris Valleca. Scored Rob Brantley from second base. Marlins tied the game 1-1. Reds answer in the 3rd. Joey Votto base hit into center field. Bobbled ball out there by Ruggiano. Allowed Bailey to come home to score. Reds take a 2-1 lead, and then in the 6th, it's Valleca again against his old teammate Bailey. Single into center. Brantley home to roost for the 2nd time in this game. We are 2-2 into the 7th inning. That is our Honda game summary. Frazier, who pinch hit, will stay in the game. He's now 3rd. Logan Ondrusek is the new pitcher.
4 games overall for Logan Ondrusek. He was optioned down in AA just before the start of the season this year, but when Sean Marshall went on the DL, he was activated, called back up, and he's been up here since April 10th.
Well, speaking of Sean Marshall, he is set to come off the disabled list. At least he is eligible to come off the disabled list on Tuesday. Still don't know for sure if he will come off the DL and stay here, or if he may go down to Louisville or wherever the Louisville team is and go out on a little rehab.
Well, the one stint that he had right in the middle of being unable to pitch with a fatigued shoulder and then being placed on the disabled list, he looked pretty good. I think if I remember right, he struck out a couple of batters. He said he's felt very good on his side work, his bullpen work. So I don't know whether they'll send him down or, like you say, give him a little bit of a minor league time to get sharpened up.
Andrusik replaces Bailey, who goes 6. 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. His 3rd quality start in 4 starts this year. He will not be involved in the decision of this game. Swing and a miss. Solano getting ahead 3-1. He's a strikeout victim as the Marlins see Andrusik for the first time this year.
He got ahead in the count 3-1, then he chased 2 pitches out of the strike zone. Did Andrusik a favor, who just blows him away right there with a fastball.
Here's Stanton. He struck out, singled, struck out.
You know, when Andrusik is at his best, I mean, he's a big, tall guy, 6 feet 8 inches tall. He really works the downward plane. But today it seems like he's up with everything. Gotten away with it so far. But you see Mesoraco back there just trying to convince him, get it down here. See him shaking the glove? That's just about all a catcher can do, is just try to emphasize with you. But right now it looks like Andrusik's arm just a little bit slow behind his body.
And to pump up his big right-hander. 2-2. Tied him up and in. Stanton goes to the ground as he strikes out for the 3rd time today.
That ball just coming out of his hand with extra life. Stan looks like he hurts himself. That's an interesting sign right there that Mesoraco's giving Logan Andrusik. You know, he throws 2 kinds of fastballs. He throws a fastball and a cutter. And I imagine that sign right there is a cutter. It's kind of like a C, where he kind of puts his thumb out and his index finger down.
Bailey had 8. Andrusik has 2 strikeouts, so 10 Ks in this game for Reds pitching. That's the 4th straight game they've had at least 10 strikeouts. Came up a little bit shy yesterday on the pizza count. 1 away from that today. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Joe Mahoney. Couple of long drives fouled by Mahoney here in the 7th inning. Well, other than that first game on Thursday, and it was tight early, the Reds broke it open with 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th. This has been a tightly contested series. Got him looking. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts, 11 of them in the game now for Reds pitching, and it is stretch time here at Great American Ballpark. This game all even. Marlins 2 and the Reds 2. We'll stay right here for the singing of God Bless America by Ben Walls. Fox Sports sends our sympathies, of course, to everyone affected by this week's tragedies, both in Boston and in West Texas. We invite you to please support onefundboston.org for those affected in Boston.
And he leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Sun still shining here at the ballpark. Bottom of the 7th inning upon us. 2-2 the score. Alex Sanabria, the Marlins starter, still in the game.
I think there are a lot of people that looked at this pitching matchup before the game began and said Bailey versus Sanabria. You've got to give the nod to Bailey. Sanabria has essentially either pitched with him or outpitched him, depending on how you look at it. Number of innings that he's pitched. He's in here for the 7th inning. He's only given up 4 Reds hits. A home run, a swinging bunt, of course a hit to Chu, and another base hit by Joey Votto, a solid shot up the middle.
Twice he's worked 6 innings this year, so this is the 3rd time he's been able to log 6 frames in a game. He gets an out here, and it'll be his longest outing of the year, his longest career big league outing. Back in August of 2010, he went 7 2/3 in a win at Pittsburgh.
I mean, he's always been known as a kind of a tough guy. Sanabria has a 34th round draft pick, so obviously you don't get rushed up the minor league system unless you show them that you can do it. He was a guy that, if you remember, the game that Niger Morgan in 2010 ran over the Nats catcher and then caused a big fight, and there was a brawl between the Marlins and the Washington Nationals. Okay. Well, Sanabria went after Adam Dunn. Sanabria weighs about 165 pounds, and as it turned out, he was given a 5-game suspension because of that fighting. But he's the guy that backs down to no one, and he's bowed his neck when he's had to today and kept the Marlins in the game.
Chu trying to get on to start the Reds 7th. What's new with this guy? He's been on base all 3 times up there. Hit by a pitch, single, hit by a pitch.
In fact, it was reported that in the pileup that ensued, and Sanabia was on top of Adam Dunn, and kind of Adam Dunn was being punched and hit and everything, and he turned to somebody else on the Marlins and said, "Get that guy off my back before I kill him." Now, whether that was exactly the verbiage, I don't know, but
may have been a little stronger than that. You could probably snap him in half.
I would think so.
Adam Dunn, a pretty big boy. 3-2 pitch.
Look at Chu.
Chu is on again. He's now been on 10 of his last 11 plate appearances, and he's aboard to start the bottom of the 7th. Reds fans, purchase your tickets today. See your Reds take on the Milwaukee Brewers coming up on Friday, May the 10th. That's during the next homestand. Make sure you stick around then for the spectacular post-game fireworks show presented by the Tri-State Chevy dealers. For tickets to see the Reds and the Brewers, that's May the 10th. Call 513-381-REDS. You can visit select Kroger locations, or you can go to reds.com/tickets. 5 walks now by Sanabia in this game. It's also a season worst for him.
Well, it's kind of consistent, though, with what he's shown so far. He came into this ball game with more walks given up than strikeouts. So he's been pitching out of the stretch just about every inning. He's only had 2 1-2-3 innings.
Kentucky native John Roush, the big guy, throwing out in the Marlins bullpen. Paul in this game is 0 for 3. Series 1 out of 8. Trying to move Chu along. Take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. And the ball. Sanabia now of 100+ pitches. Far and away the most he's thrown in a game this year. There's Roush. He threw 95 his last time out against the Nationals. That's a season high. He's at 104 now. Working here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-1. Heck of an off-speed pitch right there.
Yeah, he's got a good one, and he uses it a lot. You know, there are websites you can go to find out exactly how a pitcher, how hard he throws, and how he distributes his different pitches. He throws his changeup about 30% of the time, which is an awful lot. For a young guy, just 24 years old, he's got a pretty good feel of it.
Into right center field. That ball sinking fast. That is down for a hit for Xavier Paul. And the Reds have a golden opportunity presented themselves here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 on with no one out. Paul had 1 for his last 13 prior to this hit.
Sometimes you hit it hard and it goes right into a guy's glove. Sometimes you get on the end of the bat like Paul did right there, and he finds some daylight. They've had him on the ropes before, Sanabia that is. Maybe this time the Reds can deliver a blow that will score some runs.
Votto with a pair of hits, including a home run today. There he is, offering at the first pitch again. What's that, 3 times in 4 at bats?
Now he's had 1 changeup, that one for a home run. The other 2 first pitches were fastballs. He barely misses that one and fouls it straight back. Well, having a good series, 7 for 15.
Sanabia now at 108. We told you it's a season high. His career high is 109. So this next pitch will equal that. If he happens to throw 2 more, it'll be a new career high for him in pitches thrown. Votto, Phillips, then Bruce. Great chance for the Reds here in the bottom of the 7th. Again, the Marlins do have action in the bullpen. John Roush is throwing. Votto hits it high and deep into left field. Chased out there by Coughlin. The wind blows that ball. It's going to drop. That's fair. That's a hit. And the Reds have them loaded with nobody out here in the 7th. Boy, what a funny-looking ball that was.
Boy. You're the Marlins manager, Mike Redmond, and you're looking up into the air, and you're seeing a fly ball out there, and the pursuit, or at least the track that Coughlin took after that ball. I mean, he circled up the wagons out there before he finally decided to let that ball hit inside the line for a base hit. I don't know whether he just didn't see it coming off the bat or he misjudged how far it was going to be.
We saw Juan Pierre have some trouble out there yesterday as well. Coughlin on that ball. Now Mike Redmond out of the dugout. He'll go to the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson. This will be a double switch for Miami. John Roush has been throwing. He's going to come into this game with a bases loaded, nobody out scenario. And the right-hander Phillips in the cleanup spot will be the man up. Greg Dobbs comes out of the dugout. He will go in and play first base. So Mahoney will leave. And big John Roush is into the game. Homing our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Back with more baseball after this. In the U.S., Stomp Out Bullying focuses on preventing bullying and all forms of digital abuse. It educates against racism and hatred, deters violence in schools and online, and helps at-risk students. To learn how you can help, please visit stompoutbullying.org. All right. Scenario here, bases loaded, nobody out. 2-2 game, home 7th. Kentucky native John Roush into the game to face Phillips. And a first pitch strike. Brandon today 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Roush worked in the game here on Thursday. 1 inning. Did not face Phillips.
Now the Marlins infield not going to give up a run if they don't have to. They're bringing them in. They're trying to get the force play at the plate. I think that's as much a commentary on what they think of their offense as it is getting John Roush to get the ball on the ground.
Phillips now finds himself in the hole 1 and 2.
We talk about a guy that uses a downward plane. We talked a little bit about that with Logan Ondrusek. Same for Roush, but he's actually taller than Ondrusek is. 6 feet 10 inches tall. They've got him listed at 290.
Product of Morehead State University, John Roush. Well, that's a nice protected swing by Phillips there just to stay alive.
Andy Gibb swing.
Yes, indeed, you're showing your age. Runners lead at every base. Marlins infield edge of the grass. And another foul by Brandon. Another bases loaded scenario for the Reds. Phillips has been perfect this year, 3 for 3 with the runners at every base. Votto's at first. All at second, Chu at third. Trying to snap this 2-2 tie in the 7th. That'll make the seats.
Now he's staying away from Brandon Phillips, both with the fastball and the breaking ball, and Phillips is just able to just get enough on it to foul it off.
Alfredo Simon now up in the Reds bullpen. Remember, the Marlins pen has just one lefty, Mike Dunn. He's already appeared twice in this series. That's Simon in the Reds pen. Lefty Bruce on deck. One of the left-handed bats, Hanahan, out of the lineup now. Frazier took over at third after pinch hitting in the 6th inning. Brandon just hanging in there against John Roush, trying to get something to his liking.
Yeah, spoiling the curveball right there. Roush is no stranger to tense situations. He saved 21 games a few years ago for the Minnesota Twins. Also back in 2008, he saved 17 games for the Washington Nationals. Good at bat here by Brandon already.
And he'll shoot it out into right field for a hit. Chu will score. Paul is held, and now he'll come to the plate as the ball is bobbled out in right field by Giancarlo Stanton. 2 runs home, 4-2 Reds here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillips comes through.
Brandon, after battling and battling, he finally gets a fastball, figuring that Roush is going to stay away, slashes it to right field. This ball butchered out there by Giancarlo Stanton. That allows another run in.
Phillips is credited with 1 RBI, his 21st of the year. An error charge to Stanton, his 3rd of this series. All 4 errors in this 4-game get-together by the Marlins have come from their outfielders. And now Bruce, with runners at first and second, still nobody out. A big opportunity. Jay 0 for 3, trying to keep a 6-game hitting streak going. And he finds himself in the hole, 2 strikes. Brandon Phillips now with 8 go-ahead RBIs.
Well, you talk about a guy that has just blossomed in the number 4 hole. Came into this ball game, 20 runs batted in 16 games. Add a couple more to that now.
And 4 for 4 with the bases loaded this year.
Yeah, you can say all you want, I guess, about Brandon not fitting the mold of the prototypical cleanup hitter. Doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but I mean, wouldn't you rather have a guy to battle at the plate like that, slash the ball the other way, just be a tough out?
But Dusty Baker has talked about the job. Yeah, the
Yep.
cleanup man is not to hit home runs, but to drive in runs. Brandon's certainly doing that. From 0-2 to 2-2 to Bruce. If the Reds can hang on and get this win today, they'll equal their high water mark of 3 games over 500. They were 5-2 before dropping 5 in a row. Now here they are in the cusp of going back to 3 over at 11-8. Can nail down the win this afternoon.
Remember that they only won 11 games all last year in the month of April, right? Weren't they 11-11 last year?
I believe you're right. Yeah, they sure were. Really May when they started to take off.
So you might say they're a little ahead of schedule.
That one will reach the stands for Bruce. Well, that was a heck of an at-bat, though, by Phillips, getting down 2 strikes, wasting, what, 5 or 6 pitches on foul balls.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that in none of those pitches when Roush got ahead of him that Brantley called or Roush decided to call for something inside to try to get Brandon Phillips off the plate. He just kind of peppered him away, and Brandon finally got one that he could slash to right field.
Another one that'll make the seats by Bruce. After getting down 0-2, it took him 8 pitches. Finally, on that 8th one, Brandon found something he could handle, dropped it into right field. Bruce has struck out, hit a soft line drive to the second baseman. 0 for 3. Here's your runners leading away. Phillips and Votto. Jay spoils another one. Bailey went 6 for the Reds, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits. Andrusek struck out the side in the 7th. He now is the pitcher of record for Cincinnati. These runs charged to Alex Sanabia. He said he hadn't gone more than 6 this year. He'll go 6+, meaning he didn't get an out here in the 7th. Ball 4. 5 have come up there. All have reached in this inning for Cincinnati. And now another bases loaded scenario presents itself. This one for Mesoraco. Mesoraco was up there with the bases loaded in the 3rd and hit it back to the mound. Time is called.
Well, you know, the biggest at bat in this inning so far, obviously the one by Brandon Phillips that resulted in a base hit and an RBI, but that was also a good bat by Jay Bruce. Got down 0-2, fouled off a lot, eventually worked a walk right there, and the Reds continue to be in a great position to kind of put this one away. Chuck Hernandez is the Marlins pitching coach. He comes out there to try to settle down John Roush. Hernandez spent the last couple of years as the coach at University of South Florida. He was down there along with their hitting coach Tino Martinez.
Under Lalo Prado.
And who was a former University of Louisville coach, as you know. And he got the call from the Marlins, and both of those guys now on the big league coaching staff.
Bullpen for the Marlins is quiet. And Alfredo Simon had been up and throwing in the Reds pen. Infield in again, bases loaded, nobody out. Already 2 runs in. Hazy is in the on deck circle. The bat for Andrusek.
It'll be real interesting to see over the next week or so while Hannigan is on the DL how Devin Mesoraco reacts to playing every day, because I imagine that he's going to be the guy with Corky Miller playing only as a backup. So if what Devin Mesoraco showed in spring training, which was an improved bat, better behind the plate, really a whole better game overall, whether he's able to sustain that, we sure hope so.
In this game, he's 0 for 3. In the series, he's 2 for 10. Started to go, held up, 2 balls and a strike. Reds batting in the 7th. They've played a pair. They lead 4-2. Big hit by Brandon Phillips to right. Bobbled ball by Stanton allowed the second run Paul to score, who had been held up initially by Chris Spire. And then when he saw that ball bobbled, he scampered toward the plate. 2-2. That's right into the visitors' radio booth. Tommy Hutton.
Hair on Hutton.
Yeah, color analyst for Marlins television.
Just like the old days.
Bobbled that ball. Tommy popular over there now. They want that souvenir down below. As a Rocco line drive left field. Falls in front of Coughlin for a hit. A run will score. That's Votto. Making a 3-run inning. Bases are still loaded, and it's 5-2 Reds.
Now the Reds had opportunities to do this type of an inning back in the 3rd and the 4th, and they finally got to Alex Sanabria here and John Rauch in this inning.
Six batters have gone to the plate for the Reds. All have reached. And now Heisey bats for Andrusik. As I mentioned, is the Reds pitcher of record. Look at that. That's an interesting stat right there. 3 inherited runners have scored today against Marlins pitching, more than they had allowed all year. Heisey in the hole, 2 strikes. Comes in at 177 with a homer, 4 batted in. 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter for Heisey. Now Brantley and the right-hander Rauch will get together. Alex Sanabria, his final line goes 5 runs, 6 hits, 6+ innings. Really pitched better than that until this 7th inning when he couldn't get an out. Hadn't given up a hit since the 3rd. And Paul had that base hit to right center.
The Marlins are still looking for their first out of the inning. It's been a long time since we've seen a series that has featured such sloppy outfield play that as we have seen here from the Marlins in this series.
No question. Heisey pops it up. This is going to be an infield fly. They call it, and that's the out. First out of the inning. Second baseman Solano caught the ball. The batter will be Cesar Izturis. Well, we talked about the Marlins that committed 4 errors in the series, 3 by Stanton, 1 by Ruggiano in center. We've seen some
misplays,
some misjudging of the ball out in left field. Now, he was not charged with an error yesterday, Pierre, but boy, it was interesting to watch him play out there. And then that ball off Votto's bat to Coughlin and left in this inning.
You take routine outfield play for granted, don't you? And maybe we're just spoiled here in Cincinnati. We've seen really good defenders out there the last few years.
Reds one of the best defensive teams last year, one of the better teams in defense 2 years ago. Ended a streak yesterday on a throwing error down to second base on a stolen base of 10 straight games without committing an error. There's another pop-up. This one by Izturis. This will be an infield fly rule. Green calls it. 2 out.
Now, one thing for certain, we can't see another this inning. So we got that going.
The batter is Frazier. Todd struck out on 3 pitches to end the 6th. He has 14 runs batted in. What a great opportunity to add to that total right here, Todd Frazier. 9th man to bat in the inning. Pinch hit for Bailey in the 6th. Stayed in the game at 3rd. 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Either the ball on a strike. Walk to Chu, hit by Paul, hit by Votto, loaded the bases. That spelled the end of Sanabia here in the inning. Roush came on, hit to Phillips, scored a run. Error by the right fielder, allowed the 2nd run to come in. Walk to Bruce. RBI single by Mesoraco, played at Votto. Heisey pinch hit for Andrusic, popped up with the bases loaded. His Torres popped up with the bases loaded. Now it's Frazier. Reds left a season high 17 on base yesterday in 13 innings. They've left 7 today. With a runner at every base now. But leading 5-2. How about Roush now? 33 pitches out of the bullpen in this inning alone.
Yeah, they came in in the most difficult circumstances a reliever can come in. Bases loaded, nobody out. Giving up a couple of hits. Base on balls.
Frazier drives it to right. Stanton going back. Ball over his head. That ball is off the wall. Phillips will score. Here comes Bruce to the plate. He will score. Here comes the other runner to the plate. That is Mesoraco. He will score. That's a 3-run double for Todd Frazier. Indeed, he adds to that RBI total. This has now been a 6-run inning, and it's 8-2 Reds.
Boy, he battled it at bat. If you go back a couple of pitches before he hit that double, he kind of flicked the bat just trying to stay alive, which he did. He finally gets a ball that he drives. That pitch was well off the plate, and he just goes the other way, nearly goes out the back door, hits the top of the wall, stays in play, but he drives in all those base runners, and the Reds are blowing this one wide open.
How about 3 hits in this inning alone with the bases loaded? One by Phillips, another by Mesoraco, and now this one by Frazier. Give him 17 RBIs on the year, his 4th double. You're dead on, Chris. He almost had his first career grand slam.
Here's a swing that he took earlier in the at bat just to kind of stay alive in there. And I mean, that's about as ugly as it comes, and that's about as pretty as it is right there. That double that he hits a liner off the right field wall.
Chu for the 2nd time in the inning. 8-2 Reds here in the bottom of the 7th. A 6-run explosion. And walk to Chu to start this inning against Sanabia, put him on base for the 10th time in his last 11 plate appearances. And how about the Reds with another big inning? 4 times this year they've scored at least 5 runs in a frame. Three and 1 to Chu. Right-hander Tom Kohler. Saw him pitch 2 innings of shutout ball yesterday. He's up and throwing in the Marlins bullpen. Fruitful inning indeed for the Reds here in the 7th. Logan Andrusic, the beneficiary of a big inning here in the bottom of the 7th in terms of the pitcher of record. Lined into right, that ball down. No, Stanton misplayed that ball. It gets by him and goes to the wall. Chu will get a double. Frazier scored. Then a 7-run inning, and it is now 9-2 Reds. A little shocked that Stanton didn't cut that ball off out there.
Well, Chu hits it right on the money. Good expo look at that. Munchin's Furniture brings us that one, and Giancarlo Stanton redefining defense for a right fielder.
5 times up, 5 times on base for Chu today, and his 9th RBI. Here comes Mike Redmond, that slow walk to the mound. The move to bring in Roush didn't work for him this afternoon. Tom Kohler is throwing in the bullpen. No signal yet. Now to the bullpen they go. Roush is finished. Marlins will make a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th in what has been a 7-run inning for the home team. The NHL postseason, and tonight they're out west to take on the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets Live begins with coverage at 7:30. Game following at 8, only on the home of the Jackets, Fox Sports Ohio. Good luck to the Blue Jackets trying to get into the postseason for only the 2nd time in their history. Well, the Reds had that 9-run inning, that 9-run 9th in St. Louis. What, about 2 weeks ago. Now here they put a 7 spot up in the bottom of the 7th here this afternoon. Still not finished. Chu out at second. His RBI double. Plated Frazier, who had doubled in 3. Now it's Xavier Paul against Tom Kohler. Kohler did a nice job yesterday. 2 innings. No runs, no hits. Walked 2, struck out a batter. He was the first man out of the bullpen yesterday following the starter LeBlanc. No balls and 2 strikes. Kohler recalled from AAA New Orleans on Friday. He was starting down there. Had made 3 starts with a 1.06 ERA. They called him up when they designated for assignment the right-hander John Maine, who had pitched here on Thursday. So the Reds appear as if they're going to take 3 out of 4 from this Marlins team. They lead 9-2. Are in the bottom of the 7th. Would put them at 3 over. Set them up for a 3-game get-together with Dale Swain's Chicago Cubs. They'll be here tomorrow. Cubs, by the way, are leading 2-1 at Milwaukee in the 5th inning of their game. Cardinals started a half game ahead of the Reds in the National League Central today. They won yesterday. They're playing at Philadelphia. That's a night game at Philadelphia tonight.
After that night game in Philadelphia, the Cardinals will just move on up the coast to Washington.
So the Reds will follow the Cardinals into D.C. Xavier Paul, a solid base hit into right center field earlier in this inning. One of the 6 hits the Reds have in this frame. 7 runs, 6 hits. A couple of walks, an error. Although all the runs are earned. Appeal denied. 1-2. 11th man to bat in the inning. Here's a question, Chris, that you can answer. Question I read about, I don't know if it was yesterday, maybe, yeah, I think it was yesterday. When a team sends 9 men to the plate, is that considered batting around, or do you have to have a 10th man come up to have hit around in an inning?
I say if you send 9, that's good enough for me.
That's hitting around. Everybody
is. Of course, I don't know why you would think I could answer that.
Longtime baseball man. 2 hits in the inning for Paul as he bounces that one off the warning track and off the facing right above the Marlins bullpen out in right field. Xavier Paul, a single and a double in this inning and an RBI. Been an 8-run frame, and it's 10-2 Cincinnati. First double of the year for Paul.
That was a big crowd here at the Great American Ballpark this afternoon, and a lot of them have stayed around for this inning, this 7th inning that has played at 8 runs. A couple of hits by Xavier Paul, a solid single to center or to right center, and that one hopper over the fence into the netting over the bullpen.
Votto for the 2nd time. Joe Luckham tells us that this is the 3rd time already this season that the Reds have scored 7 or more runs in an inning. They didn't do it at all last year. Their largest inning of a year ago was 6. Now already this year they've had a 9, an 8, and a 7. Just to let you know, I agree with you. When 9 men come to the plate, that's hitting around. Where I read that as a tweet somewhere, someone was asking about that.
I didn't know that you were on Twitter. I'm glad to know that you've joined the Twitter generation.
No, I've been receiving, following tweets for a while. I follow.
Are you? Have you put any out?
Not put one out. Just follow. Have a boring existence, Chris. Nobody wants to know about that. Off the facing right above the dugout on the 3rd base side on that foul ball. I'd like to know how long this inning has lasted. I bet it's been about 25 minutes or so. one number that Joel Luckham cannot come up with. Ball 2. Eight runs, 7 hits in the inning. Votto a swing and a miss. He strikes out. Inning comes to an end, but the Reds will get a big hand from this Sunday afternoon crowd here at Great American Ballpark. They score 8 times and lead 10-2. Season. That's Penn Station East Coast subs. Find a Penn Station location near sections 130 and 414. Enjoy all the baseball action while eating a Penn Station signature sub and authentic fresh cut fries. To see your Reds, you can call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to Reds.com/tickets today.
Boy, it's about time for Jesse Jackson to get us set up with some Penn Station, isn't it?
I agree with you 100%.
He does that a few times a year. The folks so generous. Feed the crew here in our TV booth and beyond. And man, oh man, I'm a little bit on the hungrier side right now, Jesse.
I don't know how you can be with all that you've ingested. The game has gone on.
I've stretched my stomach. That's the secret.
New pitcher now for the Reds is Alfredo Simon.
Third one of the day. Homer Bailey went 6th. Logan Ondrusek struck out the side in the 7th. And here's the big guy.
Heisey stayed in the game after pinch hitting. He's now in left field. Justin Ruggiano 0 for 3 in this game with a couple of strikeouts. 2 hits for Ruggiano that have left the park in this series. 4 hits total. Backhand stop there by Izturis and a throw on to first to retire Ruggiano. The batter will be Rob Brantley. So a 9-run inning at St. Louis, an 8-run inning here, a 7-run inning in a third game this year for the Reds. That was against the Washington Nationals. They've had some big innings. That'll really separate that run differential. We had a big discussion today down clubhouse level before the game about run differential. How important that is or isn't. Brantley takes strike 1. Marlins batting in the 8th. Brantley has been on 3 times, a single, a walk, a double. Scored both Miami runs here today. Strike 2. Check that. Strike 3. Brantley a strikeout victim. Well, the relievers have come on, retired all 5 they have faced in this game. By the way, Shin-Soo Choo on base another 5 times today, has raised his on base percentage to .523. He has overtaken Votto for the league lead.
Nice to have a little internal battle, isn't it, for the league number 1 and 2 in on base percentage? Well, I wonder when the last time the Reds have had that.
So Votto goes 3 for 5, so he's on base 3 times.
I'm not even throwing out for Joe Luck at that to go look that up.
You just offered him up a challenge. That's what you did.
We'll give him the inning off. How's that?
Frazier makes the play, and down in order in the 8th go the Marlins. Game. Brandon Phillips as part of that big 8-run 7th inning. His was the first big hit, single into right field. The ball was then bobbled out in right field by Stanton. 2 runs scored. Choo and Paul, and broke the 2-2 tie, giving the Reds the 4-2 lead. Brandon now with 21 runs batted in on the year. Our Nissan drive of the game. Speaking of, here's Brandon coming up there for the 5th time this afternoon. Hit and a run scored and an RBI to his credit today. That was a hit in 14 of the 19 Reds games. Manny Parra, a lefty, throwing in the Reds bullpen. Phillips, Bruce Mesoraco against the right-hander Tom Kohler here in the bottom of the 8th. Another double-digit hit day for the Reds. Now 5 times in their last 8 games, they've produced at least 11 hits. This series alone, they've had 11-run, 12-hit game, and now today a 10-run, 11-hit game thus far. Phillips retired on that pop-up.
Yeah, get you one.
Batter will be Jay Bruce. All right, well, the Cubs series tomorrow here. Tickets available. Love to see you out at the ballpark. Cubs Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon. Television tomorrow and Tuesday. 7:10 first pitch, 6:30 both Monday and Tuesday with Reds Live. Mike Leake against Travis Wood on Monday. Tony Cingrani against Carlos Villanueva on Tuesday night. And the wrap up of the series in the homestand Wednesday afternoon. Matt Latos against Jeff Samardzija. The Reds are going to be 6-1 through the first 7 games of this homestand. This 10-gamer. Shot to center by Bruce, but Ruggiano there. 2 out. Marlins in their 9th will have Valaika driven in both of their runs, then Dobbs, and then the top of the order Coghlan. Appears to be Manny Parra's turn to pitch in the 9th inning here this afternoon. Talked yesterday about how well the Reds have done at home and how well the pitching has been. Another quality start today by Homer Bailey. So in 12 home starts, in 13 home starts, 13 home games, the Reds have had 11 quality starts. And on the verge here, their 10th home win in 13 tries.
Yeah, that's part of the stat I think that's very important. I mean, if you're looking at quality starts, and that's 6 innings, 3 runs or less. But I think the other that even excites Dusty Baker more is the number of innings he's gotten out of his starters this year. We'll talk more about that, maybe even visit it tomorrow.
All right, we head to the 9th inning. Reds up by 8, 10-2. Eight-run 7th inning. Frazier with the bases loaded. Reds had already scored 3 times, and he unloads. Just missed a grand slam off the wall in right. 3 runs home on that hit by Frazier. Phillips, Bruce, Mesoraco all come home to roost. A John Morrell hot dog play of the game. RBIs 15, 16, and 17 on the year for Todd Frazier. 10-2 Red lead, 9th inning. New pitcher on. 4th of the afternoon is the left-hander Manny Parra.
Now, Manny Parra spent his entire professional career inside the Milwaukee Brewers organization before signing a 1-year deal with the Reds back in February. Guy that was drafted out of American River Junior College in California back in 2001. 26th round draft pick. And well, you watch Parra pitch. He's got good stuff. Good arm. Good fastball in the low 90s, which is nice for a left-hander. Good tight breaking ball. 6'3", 205 pounds.
Chris Valaika will lead things off here against the left-hander whom Chris speaks of, Manny Parra. Valaika's had a nice afternoon. 2 for 2 with a walk. Driven in both of their runs. Talking about the Marlins, they've had Placido Polanco playing third base most of the time. Valaika's start today, his 2nd at 3rd this year. Austin Kearns is on deck to bat for Dobbs. Mentioned it yesterday. We'll repeat it again today. The Reds return the visit to Miami a little less than a month from now. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night games down there, May 14, 15, and 16. Marlins Park. 3-pitch strikeout here of Chris Valleca. That's 7 in a row by Reds relievers.
That is just flat out nasty right there. Parr once pitched a perfect game for the AAA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, the Nashville Sounds. That happened back in 2007. With the Brewers, he was a starter and a reliever.
Kearns pinch hits, 0 for 2 in the series, and now 1 for 3, all coming off the bench. Offers at the first one and hits it on into center for the former Red.
Well, if we see Austin Kearns, I got to say a big shout out to his dad, Dan Kearns, one of my all-time favorite Reds dads. A little bit under the weather down there in Lexington. Dan, we hope you're feeling better and you're on your way to a recovery. Got your grandkids down there around Lexington, and Austin happy to be back in the Cincinnati area, even as a visiting player.
Here's Chris Coghlan. Coghlan in the game, 1 for 3 with a walk. And a strike. Ball and a strike. Sean Marshall and his 2-year-old son Brody. Brody celebrating his 2nd birthday today. That's down in the field prior to the game today. Sean on the DL right now, but he gets that son of his out there, works him over, gets him through the paces.
I'm almost surprised Sean Marshall hasn't taken a roll of duct tape and taped his son's right arm to his hip, make him be left-handed. What do you think? I tried that, it didn't work.
They did it to you and it worked all right.
It worked on me, yeah.
Big leagues. Well, happy birthday though to Brody Marshall, number 2.
Brody looking good.
Got some long blonde locks, doesn't he?
That's probably mom's doing.
Most of it is, isn't it? 10-2 Reds, 9th inning. Wild wave and a miss there by Coghlan. Is the 2nd out here in the 9th. Now here are the Reds looking for number 27 on this Sunday afternoon. And the big crowd, a little shy of 30,000, but 28,882. What do you call that, Joel? Palindrome, 28,882. Reads the same way backwards and forwards. That's a line hugger. That's a fair ball off the bat of Solano. He's going to go for 2. Bruce's throw is cut off. Over to third base goes Kearns at 2nd and 3rd with 2 out. And that keeps Solano's hitting streak alive, modest as it is at 5.
Well, you couldn't place it any better, could you? I mean, right down the line. Called it right. A line hugger.
The batter will be Giancarlo Stanton. He struck out 3 times in this game. And 8 times in this series. The series has seen him get 3 hits, 17 at bats. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Pitchers of record in this game. On the winning side, it's Logan Ondrusek. It'll be his first decision of the year. Alex Sanabia, the starter of the Marlins, on the hook for the loss. No save scenario. But again, it would put the Reds at 6 wins and a loss to the first 7 games of this 10-game homestand, with 3 to go with the Cubs. Could be the division leaders going into action against the Cubbies tomorrow night, depending on that Cardinal-Philly game tonight in Philadelphia. You don't think the Cardinals will be taking the train up to Washington, do you, after that game? Can you do that?
Well, you can do that. I mean, a lot of people do that. I would think they're probably bussing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very close. I mean, it's certainly not going to fly. I'm not sure if the trains are running that time of night on a Sunday.
Kind of interesting to do that. To right, there's the first RBI of the year for Stanton. 1 run will score. That's Austin Kearns. It makes it 10-3. Giancarlo Stanton. His first run batted into the season. And now Miguel Olivo will bat for Kohler. Olivo started in yesterday's game, had a couple of hits, 2 for 4. Comes into the game hitting 190. That one skipped down and in for ball 1. A run, 3 hits in the inning for the Marlins. But a 10-3 Reds lead here in the top of the 9th. Bailey 6, 2 runs, 7 hits allowed on Drusick, Simon, and now Parra. Reds won big Thursday, lost on Friday night, won the extra inning game yesterday. 2 strikes away from winning here today. Runner from first takes off. That is recorded as defensive indifference.
You got to come up with a better term than that. Something catchier.
You got something in mind?
No. I have very little in mind.
Ball 3. Hit hard by Olivo to left field. Looking up, Heisey. That is a 3-run homer for Miguel Olivo. This has been a 4-run inning. And it's now 10-6 in favor of the Reds. Manny Parra been touched up here in the 9th inning.
Well, it's too bad, really, because, you know, everybody in that clubhouse, when you win 3 out of 4 games against a ball club, you're happy, you're feeling good. But if you're one pitcher that comes in late in the game to pitch a little mop-up work, 1 inning, you give up a 4 spot. It's hard to share in the joy that everybody else is happy about.
Well, it's been a week. Talked earlier since he worked. He worked in the game last Sunday at Pittsburgh. 1/3 of an inning is all. Now here's a week later getting into action.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're the 12th pitcher on a pitching staff. You're not going to get in very much. You may be the first guy in a ball game if the starting pitcher gets blown out early on, or you might be the last guy in a blowout game or in an extra inning game.
Here's Justin Ruggiano.
But you know, if you evaluate Parra's stuff simply on velocity, movement, break of the breaking ball, this guy's got good stuff. Sometimes you wonder how he gets hit.
Trying to get the final out of this game. There it is into right. Bruce settles under it. Reds win. Reds win it. 10-6 the final score. Reds have taken 3 out of 4 from the Marlins and are now 6-1 through the first 7 games of this 10-game homestand, pushing their record now to 11-8, equaling their high water mark of the year. Once again, they find themselves 3 games above the 500 mark. Good offensive effort for sure for the Reds.
Well, it really was, and it was frustrating for a while because early on against Alex Sanabia, you thought the Reds had a chance to really blow it open. 3rd inning, 4th inning, they had runners on, opportunities presented themselves, but finally in the 7th inning, it all caught up to Sanabia. The Reds ended up pushing 8 across in that inning, and that's when they put the ball game away. Good outing overall by Homer Bailey. Went 6 innings. He doesn't have a whole lot to show for it except a quality start. But the Reds end up winning 3 out of 4, and you can never complain about that.
All right, we'll come back with more from Great American Ballpark right after this.